The sun-drenched waves played against Sarah as she blissfully swam in the vast ocean. It was an ordinary day until a menacing shadow loomed beneath her. The Coast Guard's frantic shout cut through the serenity. "Get out now!" As panic set in, Sarah had no idea what lurked beneath the water. But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. Sarah was almost forced when she felt something forcefully swim past her leg. Nothing had even touched her yet, but the movement through the water was so significant that she could feel the disturbance under the surface. This was not just a normal fish making its way around her. And now that the creature had passed her, Sarah could finally see what she was dealing with. The dark shape moving through the water was unmistakable. This was a stingray. Sarah had been swimming in this water for years, and she had never seen these creatures before. She had never even read something about these animals showing up in these regions of the world. Sarah was saying a prayer that the animal would just move on and leave her alone. But it quickly became clear to Sarah that this was not going to be the case. She could see the animal turn around soon after he had passed her, and then it started circling around her. Sarah started to get really scared now. What did this animal want from her? She started screaming for help, and slowly but surely she started to be noticed by people. But with Sarah focusing on getting people's attention, she had lost track of the stingray that was no longer circling her. And by the time that Sarah finally figured this out, it was already too late. Sarah suddenly felt a hard thud in her back as the stingray swam up behind her, jumped out of the water, and latched onto her back. Sarah was losing her mind, and now everybody in the water and on the beach knew what was going on. Sarah was trying everything she could to get the stingray off of her back, but the animal seemed to be as determined as could be, because every time Sarah managed to get the animal off her, it quickly got right back on her behind. By now, the Coast Guard had also gotten wind of what was happening in the water, and they quickly sprung into action. There were also 2 people in the water trying to swim towards Sarah to help her, but one of the Coast Guards got out their microphone and shouted that everybody needed to stay away from the stingray and get out of the water. But the Coast Guard was luckily springing into action now, and they quickly got their small boat into the water to race towards Sa and save her. And they did not have a second to lose, as they had also noticed something else in the water. The Coast Guard had made it to her just in the nick of time and pulled Sarah out of the water, quickly throwing the stingray off her back. As the Coast Guard's boat sliced through the water, the ocean around them teemed with an unprecedented number of stingrays, their dark silhouettes casting ominous shadows. Crew members exchanged anxious glances, knowing they faced a challenge unlike any they had encountered before, their voices tense as they discussed the rapidly escalating situation. Amidst the swirling mass of stingrays, the Coast Guard's focus was singular. Rescue the stranded swimmers, each one a tiny speck in the vast, churning sea. With precise coordination and unwavering determination, they maneuvered closer to the swimmers, their efforts a race against time as the swarm thickened around them. Finally, the last swimmer was hauled aboard, their relief palpable as they collapsed onto the deck. The Coast Guard turned the boat towards the shore, the engines roaring louder against the backdrop of an increasingly agitated ocean. The situation on land growing more dire by the minute. Back on shore, the Coast Guard hurriedly gathered for an emergency meeting, the urgency of their mission etched on every face. They huddled together, mapping out a strategy to confront the unprecedented stingray crisis, aware that every decision they made could mean the difference between safety and calamity. The ambulance, sirens blaring, raced through the streets towards the hospital, carrying Sarah, who lay inside, still reeling from the shock. Upon arrival, medical professionals quickly assessed her injuries, providing immediate care for the wounds inflicted during the stingray attack. Their expertise and swift action a comforting presence in the chaos of the moment. Sarah's family, faces etched with worry, hurried into the hospital, their hearts heavy with concern. The hospital staff, understanding their anxiety, promised to provide information as soon as it was available. In the quiet of the hospital room, Sarah lay, the memories of the attack replaying in her mind. Despite the haunting images, she felt a surge of gratitude for being alive, a resolve building within her to overcome the ordeal. A team of marine biologists, equipped with specialized gear and a wealth of knowledge, arrived at the beach, their presence bringing a sense of hope. They prepared to delve into the study of the unusual phenomenon, their minds buzzing with questions and theories, ready to unlock the secrets behind the stingray's inexplicable behavior. As news of the stingray swarm echoed across the media, reporters and camera crews descended upon the beach, their lenses capturing every moment. In the digital world, the incident exploded into a viral sensation. Social media feeds were inundated with videos and photos of the surreal scene, captivating viewers far and wide. The images, both terrifying and mesmerizing, sparked a wave of online interest and concern, as people from all corners of the globe tuned in to witness the unfolding drama. As more people flocked to the beach, the situation spiraled into chaos. The influx of onlookers strained the resources of emergency responders, who struggled to maintain order amidst the growing crowd. The tension was palpable as the Coast Guard endeavored to manage the unfolding crisis while ensuring the safety of everyone involved. Emergency services, stretched thin, worked tirelessly to maintain order amidst the growing disarray. They immediately set to work, establishing a perimeter to safeguard the area. Their goal was clear: manage the crowd efficiently while ensuring the safety of everyone on the increasingly chaotic beach. With the beach teeming with more people every minute, the efforts to control the crowd intensified. Authorities moved through the throngs of people, their voices firm as they directed the onlookers away from critical areas. Gathered on the shoreline, the marine biologists looked on with a mix of fascination and alarm. Never before had they witnessed such behavior from stingrays, especially in these waters. The biologists wasted no time delving into their investigation with a sense of purpose. They began by collecting water samples, testing for any anomalies that might explain the stingray's unusual behavior. On a makeshift research station, captured stingrays were gently examined by the biologists. They looked for any signs of distress or physical anomalies that could shed light on the situation. As the investigation progressed, the implications of the situation became increasingly concerning. The potential danger to humans from such an unusual gathering of stingrays loomed large in the minds of the biologists and the public alike. With each passing day and no clear answers in sight, the mystery of the stingrays only seemed to deepen. The lack of tangible explanations turned the event into an enigma, baffling not only the biologists but also the wider community. In the wake of unexplained phenomena, the public's mood shifted from curiosity to a mix of frustration and fear. The absence of clear explanations for the stingray swarm stirred unease among locals and tourists alike. In the midst of online debates, a seemingly insignificant comment about unusual sea current anomalies caught the attention of a few keen observers. Amidst the theories and speculation, this remark stood out, offering a potentially scientific explanation that had not yet been considered in the ongoing discussions about the stingray swarm. This observation about sea currents presented a new and intriguing lead for the investigation. It shifted the focus of the research team, who had been grappling with inconclusive results. The possibility that changes in sea currents could have influenced the stingray's behavior opened a new chapter in the unfolding mystery. The biologists and the Coast Guard, intrigued by the potential impact of sea currents on marine behavior, began to explore this avenue. They discussed how changes in oceanic currents could have unforeseen effects on marine life, including the migration patterns and habitats of creatures like stingrays. In pursuit of this new lead, a collaborative effort unfolded between the biologists and the Coast Guard. They combined their resources and expertise, delving into oceanographic data and satellite imagery. The initial findings of this collaborative research were promising. Early analysis suggested a potential correlation between recent changes in sea currents and the abnormal behavior of the stingrays. This revelation began to connect the dots, offering a plausible explanation for the mysterious events that had unfolded on the beach. Immersed in their task, the biologists and Coast Guard experts meticulously analyzed satellite data and oceanographic reports. Their eyes were glued to screens, scanning for any anomalies or patterns in the sea currents that could provide clues to the stingray mystery, each piece of data a potential key to solving the puzzle. As they delved deeper into the data, a pattern began to emerge, subtle yet significant. Indications of changes in sea currents not immediately apparent started to surface. These changes, though seemingly minor, hinted at a potential disruption in the marine ecosystem, a clue that could not be ignored in their quest for answers. The research team, fueled by determination, worked tirelessly, piecing together a complex jigsaw puzzle of information. Data from different sources, satellite imagery, historical current patterns, and recent oceanographic studies were combined, creating a comprehensive picture of the marine environment surrounding the Stingray incident. Amidst the sea of data, signs of altered sea currents began to stand out, offering a promising lead. This new discovery provided a plausible explanation for the Stingray's unexpected presence, a breakthrough that brought the team closer to understanding the bizarre phenomenon that had transformed the tranquil beach into a hub of scientific intrigue. With each piece of evidence, the theory that sea currents played a pivotal role in the incident gained strength. The accumulating data pointed increasingly towards these currents as a major factor influencing the Stingray's behavior. This growing body of evidence began to confirm the team's suspicions, bringing them closer to a conclusive explanation. After exhaustive research, the team of biologists finalized their analysis, their findings poised to shed light on the recent events. They prepared to share their conclusions, understanding the importance of their discovery not just for the scientific community, but for the anxious public eagerly awaiting answers to the Stingray mystery. The key to the puzzle was finally unveiled. A large school of stingrays had been inadvertently thrown off course due to significant changes in sea streams. This disruption in their natural migratory path explained their unexpected and unprecedented beaching, solving the mystery that had puzzled everyone for days. In a much-anticipated public announcement, the Coast Guard and the team of biologists shared their findings. They provided a detailed explanation of how the altered sea currents had led to the extraordinary event, offering much-needed clarity and understanding to the crowd of locals and media personnel gathered to hear the news. This revelation about the sea currents and their impact on the Stingray's behavior helped to assuage the public's fears. The scientific explanation quelled the rampant speculation and rumors, bringing a sense of relief to the community. The truth, rooted in nature's unpredictability, helped ease the tension that had gripped the beach for days. With the mystery resolved and public curiosity satisfied, the police and Coast Guard began the task of dispersing the crowd. People slowly started to leave the beach, their questions answered and fears allayed. The beach, once the center of a bewildering phenomenon, began to return to its usual state of tranquility. As the sun began its descent, the swarm of stingrays, like a shifting underwater tapestry, started their departure. Guided by the corrected sea currents, they slowly made their way back to their natural habitat. Onlookers watched in silent awe as the sea reclaimed its inhabitants, the ocean's mysteries momentarily revealed, then concealed once more. Gradually, the beach began to shed the remnants of the day's turmoil. The emergency and research teams packed up, their mission accomplished, their presence no longer required. The sand, once imprinted with the footsteps of the concerned and curious, now lay smooth, swept by the gentle evening tide, signaling a return to normalcy.